Hi there, welcome to Cadence Fishing TV. My name's Des Taylor and today we're on the beautiful River Severn and we're going to catch a lot of barbel. There's a chub. And there's a barbel. There you go. First fish of the day. I don't know, you can probably remember if you regular watchers of Cadence TV, myself and James came to this very river at Coalport back in March and we struggled. It was really adverse conditions, but today we're on the true River Severn. The river's quite warm, there's a little bit of colour and we'll catch chub and barbel today. This is a chub. Absolutely love these rods. Even with chub, you get a see the action coming through there. This is a decent chub. This is not a small chub. This is quite a nice chub look. But the rod's bending really nice there on the tip, absorbing the plunges, even of a 4 pound. Looks like about a 4 pound chub. Absolutely gorgeous. We just got to watch this tree in the corner here. Chub are absolutely famous. You bring them straight across the river, you think they're dozy, and then all of a sudden, there he is. We're just going to watch this snag. Bringing in quite a nice fish actually. This nice chub to start off with. There we go. Missed that snag. Missed the snag. In we go. Lovely. Oh. Wow, good to be alive, eh? Good to be alive. Good to be alive. It's a nice fish, that is, straight from the off. There you go. First fish of the day, a beautiful chub. Yes, I want to catch barbel today if I can, but I'll never ever moan about catching beautiful chub like this. Summer chub, bit thin. They'll get bigger as the winter comes, the autumn and the winter, as they start to put spawn on, but an absolutely gorgeous fish. I'm very pleased with that. That's a nice start. Oh, look at the power of this barbel. This is probably, if it's an average fish, it'll be 6 or 7 pound. And I absolutely never ever get fed up of catching these things. They're beautiful. And when you look down the river, sometimes I look back to when I used to work in a factory and I think, my life, how lucky you are, Des, to be playing wild fish like this and looking down a river like that. Oh, lucky. I'll never be a millionaire, but my God, I'll live a millionaire's life. Look at that. Yeah. Look at this. I said to James when we started putting these rods together that we wanted a powerful rod for casting, etc, and holding out there in the strong flow of the Severn and the Trent, but also wanted a fishing rod, not just a casting tool. And this is what these are. I absolutely adore playing the fish. I've played a lot of fish on these rods now, and you know, just average fish like that are an absolute pleasure to play. Beautiful. This water that's got this sort of acidic water from up on the Verney, it gives the fish almost a copper look. When they come up, you've almost got that copper sheen to them. It's fabulous. Look at that copper sheen. Look at it. Oh God, beautiful wild fish in wild waters. Does it get any better? Look at that. Come on. I mean, that's probably a fish about 4 to 5 pound if I'm lucky. And look at it. Oh, it's absolutely fun at its best. Fun at its best. And the nice thing about a barbel is he probably won't try and get in that snag like a chub. Let's just bring him in. At this point, don't bully a fish, don't damage the fish, don't damage his mouth. When you realise he's not a 10 pounder, that doesn't make him any less a fish. Just bring him over the net nice and easy and in there. Wow, great, love it. I'm going to bring this rod in before I take that fish up to the mat, and to be honest, what I'm going to do now is just leave this rod on the rest, because we've had a couple of bites straight away, and if you're having fish like this and they are feeding, you're going to get 2 takes at once, and that's not good with 2 rods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this rod in now and just fish the 1 rod for a while. Okay, there you go, my fellow anglers. The ultimate river fish, designed for fast flowing rivers, pure water. Look at that, designed to fight against that really fast flow of the River Severn and the likes of the Severn, the Trent, Kennet, all over the country. Look at it, beautiful shape. That's why it fights so well. Big fins, sleek body, beautiful. I absolutely adore them. They don't have to be big to be nice. Look at that. Beautiful. And another barbel. Oh, they are having it now. Look at this fish. Oh. So important to keep feeding. When they're a fish on the middle Severn like this and you've got shoalfish, it's so important. So many people just take just a little bit of feed, and you know, that's a flowing river, there's chub out there, there's dace, there's everything eating the bait. And what we want to do is get these barbel competing, and what we've got is these competing, and look at this. This feels like a fair fish. He's still out where I hooked him. He went down the river, he's gone back up to where he came from. Oh, I probably catch around about 400 of these a year, and you know, I never ever tire of catching them. Not only is it the catching of the fish, it's where they live. It's where they live. Just look at that. You know, you just don't get any better scenery. I've travelled all around the world, and whether it be Canada or America or India, wherever, I still love the River Severn. This is fighting really well. And he's probably a fish, he's probably about 5 or 6 pounds. Really fit fish. What I tend to do is ease off the clutch when I get close, because there's a lot of snags out there, and he's just tipped on a snag. Okay, I'm fishing 12-pound line at the minute, but you know, it might have just tipped a snag, and I might be fishing on 6-pound line at the moment if he's damaged. So when I get in close and those big plunges, I want that rod to absorb the pressure, but I also want it to allow that I might be fishing on a lot lighter line. There you go, that's quite a nice fish. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the colours in as I say, the colours in this water. When you get this acidic water, it gives it that brown tinge. But when you're playing a barbel, it gives them a copper effect. It's almost as though you're bringing in a copper model of a barbel. Beautiful. Beautiful. I remember talking to John Wilson years ago when we were catching barbel together up at Bewdley, and he said the same. He said that, you know, with this colour of the Severn, it gives them such a magical colour. There it is. Come out that snag, that's it. We're nearly ready. I say to people now, you know, don't rush it to get it in the net. Of course you can rush it to get it in the net, but all you're going to do is damage the mouth. Take it nice and easy. When he's ready for the net, he'll come, which this is not far away now. I could bully this fish. It's not a big fish, but why bully it? Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. There you go. It's as nice as that. Wow. There we go. Although it fights like a fish 3 times its size, you think you've hooked a monster. When you finally land it, it's almost the lady of the river. So slender, so good looking. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Look at that. They are as nice as it gets. I'm often asked, what makes me pick a peg? Well, to be perfectly honest, I work on the principle that I learned from Trevor West many, many years ago. Trevor's my river mentor, if you like, from Coventry, and I listened to Trevor a lot when I was younger, and he said, if you want to find a barbel or chub, walk down a river, find some shallows, and then as soon after the shallows you can't see the bottom, you found a barbel. And this is exactly on this peg here. We're on a peg where you come down through 3 foot of water, 2 foot of water, foot of water, then all of a sudden over it goes into 4 or 5 foot of water. And you've got a heap of barbel waiting. And if you keep feeding, you keep asking the questions, you'll catch these fish. And that's what we're doing. I've just slung in, and literally the last 2 fish have come within 1 minute of casting in because they're waiting for the bait. And after I've played this fish, I'll tell you something about why I keep baiting so much and so important. Is that the sound that you love? The sound of the clutch? Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. Nice and gentle does it. Nice and gentle does it. Probably the smallest fish of the day. But I'm still playing it with a lot of respect, a lot of respect. Very important that you get the angle right when you're playing on a stage like this up. You get it too close and you're sort of trying to lift his head, and you need him farther out really than if you're flat down on a normal bank, so that you just raise the fish and bring him to the net and he's still quite far out. If you bring him too close, then it's a big problem. This fish is not ready yet. Get the net ready. Come on, my beauty. Yeah, still a nice fish actually. Still a nice fish. They're all nice fish, but this is sort of bigger than I actually thought. It's not a monster by any means, but I wouldn't be fishing this river here if I wanted a monster. I'm after catching barbel here. Rarely do I have doubles in this stretch, but this is what I'm up here for, the beauty and catching a number of fish. Oh, absolutely fabulous, isn't it? Anyone that don't enjoy this, then take up golf. Here we go, here we go. Come on my beauty, come on my beauty, come on my beauty. There you go. Another one hits the net. Well, great stuff. Talk about getting it wrong. I thought it was the smallest fish of the day. It's actually probably the best fish of the day. I never said I was perfect. You beauty. Obviously when you've played a fish like this in a current like this, it can get tired. Even a barbel can get tired. So you need to rest it up. The only suggestion I can make, normally I will get in the water with it, but obviously with a stage like this and deep water in front of me, I can't. What I'll do is I'll put it in the net and just hold it there. It normally takes about 5 or 10 minutes. What I would say to you is, just because it starts to flap its tail and it comes up right, don't let it go straight away, because it might be okay here, but when it goes out in the current might take it and away it'll go. So when I see it start to move upright again, I then wait another 5 minutes and then I'll let it go. It should power away. It should literally power away. That fish has been in there about nearly 10 minutes now. That's fine. I'm going to let it go. It's upright, his tail's wagging. He's ready to go. Lift him out. There you go, lovely. When they slap the tail and shoot water back at you, that's a thank you for looking after them. Let's put the bait back in. You might think, why am I casting to the far side when probably you could catch fish down here? Well, the reason is easily, that's the east bank and the sun might not come up today, but it might. When it comes up, it shines over this side and leaves shade. And what actually happens when the sun shines this way, over this side, fish will migrate over that side. So more fish will be over that side. So for later on, I'm actually baiting and preparing for later on. So that's why I'm fishing over that side. Nice accurate casting. That's not near enough. Now you see where that's gone. Some people will actually say, well, that's good enough. I always have a saying, good enough, near enough, ain't good enough. It's got to be where I want it to go. I'm not sitting here for 20 minutes, half an hour in the wrong spot. I want to be in the right spot. That's the right spot. Bump. And the last 3 casts has been fished straight away because I've been in the right spot. Accurate casting, accurate feeding. That's it. Another 4 boilies. In they go, just upstream of where I'm fishing. What I'll keep doing is every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, whatever, I just keep putting that bait in. It's a flowing river, there'll be nothing left in there, it'll keep going through, fish are picking it up, etc. I run on the theory that These fish will lie up just like a dog at home. You know, you got a dog at home, as soon as you leave the house, generally they'll go to sleep. It's only when the postman comes, you knock on the door, the dog starts barking. The next time he wakes up is when you come back from work. And that's the same with these. These fish will not be dormant, but they're just sitting in the flow, doing nothing. If you keep putting food in, you're knocking that door and you're making that dog bark. So all I just keep doing, I don't put large amounts in it in one go, because you can put 5 kilos in it, it'll just go through the swim in one go. If you just keep trickling, and you hear the sound now, this is what they're hearing, look. That's what they're hearing, that's what they're coming to. Keep putting that bait in, make that dog bark. This is my pudding mix, which I use just about everywhere. And for not only barbel, I use it for a lot of species, but what it is all sorts of pellets, all sorts of flavoured pellets, all sorts of sizes, all sorts of colours, and then it's got some ground hemp in there and all sorts of goodies. And what I do is I soak it overnight. I just put the water so you can just about see the water. I don't fill the tub straight up. All I do is just about top it up, and then in the morning it makes this beautiful mix. Some of the pellets are still solid, but they just stick together like that. This is my feeder. I don't use a feeder. This is all I keep shooting in. I don't have to keep bringing the baits in, don't have to keep casting out. All I keep doing is that's my feeder. Bush, whoa, there you go. And in we go again. Don't think it gets any better than that, does it? That stimulated the dog to bark. And here, we got another dog. That was as good as it gets. All you can hear is wood pigeons. Absolutely fantastic. And of course the sound of a clutch. And the sound of a salmon jumping down there. Oh, this is as good as it gets, folks. For a river angler, this is as good as it gets. The conditions are perfect. The rod's bent double. The clutch is singing. Does it get any better? No, it doesn't. This one wants to go upstream for some reason. I have to bring him downstream, that's for sure. Come on down with the current, that's better. That's better. There we go, look. Using these big fins in that flow. Sleek body. Just turning it sideways on so he gets the flow to help him. Normally he'd be looking straight at it. Sleek body, sitting easily in the current. But the crafty devil, once he gets fighting, look, he'll turn sideways on and use his body bulk to let the river hit. That, my fishermen friends, is as good as it gets. Okay, this is my rig that I'm using today, and to be honest, probably 99% of the time that I use for barbel fishing. It's very simple. I don't want to get into complicated rigs, because at the end of the day, you're talking about a wild venue full of snags. As soon as you start making it complicated, more swivels than you need, bits and pieces hanging off, all you're going to do is make it more snag wary. Okay, so here we go. The first, I've got a run ring, so it's free running. It's got a snap swivel on so I can put the lead. Today I'm using a 3-ounce lead, probably old out there with probably 1 ounce, but I want to hold tight. I don't want it to move along the bottom. It's a snaggy area. I want it to hit the bottom and I want it to stop. As soon as it starts nudging down, people go, oh, it hasn't found the bottom yet, and then all of a sudden it nods down and they go, oh, it's found the bottom. It hasn't found the bottom, it's found a snag. I want it to go in and stop there. Hence the reason I'm using a 3-ounce lead. Flat. This is a Nash carp lead, flat, pear-shaped, just so it holds bottom better. Then I've got a Drennan bead, a buffer bead, which kinks it off a bit, just tabs it off like that so it holds off a bit to make it less tangle. And then that slots onto a swivel. I use quality swivels, not cheap swivels. I use quality swivels from recognised companies, not buying 200 cheap on the internet. I want to buy quality swivels. That a lot of big fish can be lost by using cheap swivels. Then I've got that is 12-pound mainline. That's 12-pound Nash bullet. I get on with it. It's a quality line. That's what I use, 12-pound, and then they use a 12-pound fluorocarbon. And I don't use a 12 to 10. I use a 12 to 12. And if I hook a snag or I lose rigs, what it does, it normally, in fact every time, it will go on the fluorocarbon knot. The fluorocarbon knot will give before the main line. So that's why I use a 12 and a 12. The distance is very important. If I'm fishing in the centre of the river and I'm fishing with no snags, I'll go up to 6 foot from the swivel to the hook. But this is a snagged area and I'm casting over, so I've gone shorter. I'm probably on about 2 foot, 2.5 foot there. Okay, sometimes I will come even shorter. I will come down to 18 inches, but that's when I'm fishing tight onto snags. I've got a standard hair rig, standard knotless knot, and I've got a twister hook, a size 10 twister hook, Nash twister hook, and I've got a Scopex squid boilie 12 mil. I'm only using 12 mils today. I'll use up to 20 mils. I'm trying to get bites. The rivers, although it's got a bit of colour in, it's still fairly low, and I'm trying to get bites. And trying to get bites, keep feeding the pellet, feeding 12 mil boilies, lots of boilies, and that's what I'm using, a 12 mil boilie today, and it's been very, very successful. And this is my standard summer rig, standard bait, standard hook, everything. That's as simple as it gets. Cast that out, let it rest on the bottom, keep feeding, bingo, barbel. The gear I'm actually using today is the rod and reel are both Cadence. The CS10 5000 reel I'm using, lovely smooth clutch, and it's not a bait runner. I don't like using bait runners when I'm fishing near snags like this. I like it to bend over, and as it's bending over, it's hooking the fish straight away, and I'm into the fish. Sometimes with the bait runner zzz, and it's going, and the fish is already on its way at speed. And then you pick up, and it's a hell of a job to stop it. On the take, on the pod, you're already slowing the fish down. This is a reel that actually, if you just unwind it half a turn, it's the same as a bait runner. Then as you pick it up, you just click it back and you're back onto normal spool, normal pressure. I don't use it. I've got it set on the clutch and I'm onto the rods like I've shown today. A lot of people use carp rods and think they're barbel rods. They're not. There is a difference. And what we've done here is designed for me. I've been involved in a few barbel rods over the years, but this is the best barbel rod that I've actually been involved with, and it took sort of about 14, 15 months to put together, and it's a superb rod. Not only does it play well, cast well, it also looks absolutely superb. It was Mr. Robbins that actually said to me he said to me, James, why don't you have, I've got a beautiful blank, a beautiful brown blank. He said, I think it would suit the barbel rod. And I said, okay, let me have a look. And when he brought it over, I just fell in love with it. That's it. Top class Fuji rings on it. The important thing is it's got backbone here, it's got backbone in the middle for casting, and also it doesn't bend the whole rod like some carp rods do. A 175 carp rod, the whole rod bends down. This doesn't. It's got that tip action. The tip is white so you can see it, and the whole rod doesn't fold down. You've just got this almost like an up-tide rod. So you've got that perfect action on the tip. This is 175. There is a 2 pound available, which you use on the bigger rivers or when it's more flooded. I tend to use the 175 on the middle seven for most of the year. Absolutely super. People say, well, a barbel bite, well, you just see it go over. You know, why do you need white tips? These tips tell you everything. And whether you're getting liners or whether you're getting chub bites, chub knocks, or whatever, that will tell me to feed. If I've got fish in this realm, I'm not just sitting there looking round on a buzzer and just doing nothing. As soon as I see indications, I will feed. I will react to what the tip is telling me. So when people say that the barbel bite is just that, yes, it probably is in the end. That's the end result. But in between time, the tip will tell you what's happening in the swim. And that's what I react to the feed. Beautiful rod, as you've seen it today, playing the fish. It's got the backbone to play big fish, but it's also very, very nice to play average size fish. And that's what most people are catching. That's what I catch most of the time. And that's what I want enjoyment from. And this gives me that enjoyment. Go for it. Whoops. I think that might be on. Yeah. As I say, it's dead quiet at the moment, but well, I was just about to say that the swim had really gone quiet because we've had 6 fish. This is the 7th fish, and it had really gone quiet. And I was about to say to make most of the window, but what that also proves is, although I wasn't catching, I was still feeding the same as if I was catching. In fact, sometimes I would say I would actually feed more when I'm not catching than when I'm catching. Again, like I said about that, getting the dog to bark, you have to keep feeding. But the one thing you must make sure of is use those little windows, because when you're here for 8 hours, you ain't going to get them feeding for 8 hours. They will feed. Sometimes you can, if you have 8 fish, you can have them all, or you can have 6 of them in an hour and a half. You must make sure, and that's when, you know, using your ability to cast, so you're not overcasting, you're not casting into the tree, you're not casting short, you're making sure that it's going on the spot, you're feeding on the spot. That opportunity, they're feeding, and you must take that opportunity, like I am now. I'm just letting a bit of line out so I can get this angle right for bringing it into the keep net, into the landing net, sorry. There we go. Absolute dream. Lovely stuff. Well, that's not the biggest fish of the day, but it's certainly one of the prettiest. Beautiful, beautiful fish. barbel. Don't you just love them? Don't you just love them? They just don't know when to give up. The perfect angler's fish. Well, there you go. That's going to be my last fish of the day, a beautiful barbel. Thanks for watching.